Hey Branches Youth, I'm Jacob, and I'm going to be continuing the series on John with you guys. We're going to be in chapter 18. And so this chapter is the chapter where Jesus, he gets arrested, right? And he goes to a garden, and Judas, one of his disciples, he betrays them. He betrays Jesus, and he gathers in the religious leaders and the Roman authorities, and he's going to arrest Jesus, right? And uh, it's in this moment where Jesus gets arrested that Jesus decides to reveal who he actually is. Right. This is verse 4. Then Jesus, knowing all that would happen to him, came forward and said to them, "Hey, who are you guys looking for?" They answered him, "We're looking for Jesus of Nazareth." So Jesus said to them, "I am," right? Or "I am he." Judas, who betrayed him, was standing. He was standing right there. He was standing with them. Verse 6. When Jesus said to them, "I am," they drew back and fell to the ground. Right. This when Jesus says, "I am," this is him referring to himself as the God of the universe, right? And to know that, you just have to know just like a little bit about the Old Testament, right? When God refers to himself, his personal divine name is simply "I am," right? So when Jesus, he's encountering these people who are about to arrest them, these religious leaders in the Roman Empire, um, he simply says, "I am," essentially saying, like, I am not just a good moral teacher. I'm not just somebody who knows his Bible really well. I'm actually God become human, right? And this, right as he says that, they fall to the ground. He just unleashes this power, and they still arrest him. They're still going to uh, arrest Jesus despite this like display of power, and Jesus allows them to do it. Jesus revealing who he is uh, shows that this is the kind of God I am. I'm the God who uh, gives himself up on behalf of the people that are about to kill him, right? And the disciples don't know this, and they're just really like you can imagine, they're just confused and terrified and devastated because this man that they've just spent the last 3.5 years with is just going to be taken away from them. And I mean, they've just given up everything, right? So uh, here we come to see what Peter thinks of this, and he's just not having it, right? He's not going down without a fight. This is verse 10. I'm gonna take that. But yeah, verse 10. Then Simon Peter, having a sword, he drew it and struck the high priest's servant, right, and he cut off his right ear, right. So he's trying to cut this guy's head off, right, but just missed him. Verse 11. So Jesus said to Peter, "Hey, put your sword into the sheath. Like, am I not supposed to drink the cup that the Father has given me?" And we'll see Peter. Just first of all, talk about just further shame and devastation on Peter. Right? He thinks this buildup of confidence and courage. I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to stand up for my master. He gets denied by his master, who's being arrested, right? And So that's one instance where Peter has an opportunity to prove himself and he fails. When Jesus is standing before the court and he's about to be given his death sentence, Peter fails again. Right? This is verse 17. Peter is outside of the court trial, and this is what happens. There was a servant girl there in verse 17. The servant girl at the door said to Peter, hey, aren't you not one of the man's disciples? Aren't you one of Jesus' disciples? And he said simply, I am not. Like, I'm not this man. So Peter is given two opportunities to prove his worth, right? His worth as a disciple, his worth as a follower of Jesus, and he just utterly fails at both times, right? And in the midst of that, the thing that Jesus says to him is like, hey, put your sword away. I need to drink my father's cup, right? Which is another Old Testament reference to God's anger. It's called in Isaiah and Jeremiah, it's the cup of God's wrath, right? And it's just a metaphor for God's just anger on human evil, specifically his people's evil when they do wrong. And Peter doing wrong, failing, right? The one who deserves God's anger on himself, Jesus says, stop. Like, don't do it. I'm gonna take this cup. I'm gonna take God's anger. It's gonna be placed on me. I'm gonna absorb it into myself. The consequences for what you're doing, Peter, are not yours to bear. They're for me to bear. I'm gonna bear it for you. Right? And it is in Peter that we get a window into not just who he is, but who we are. As people who are following Jesus or people who aren't, we have this desire within us to earn love, and the way Peter goes about it is to be an imposter, right? To put on this mask of confidence and of bravery, of courage, and he just, in the face of who Jesus is, just gets utterly humiliated, and it's actually for his good, right? Because it is in this failure that Peter is able to recognize who Jesus really is, right? Because Peter, this whole time, he just thinks that, like, I know who Jesus is. I know that he's this king. I know he's going to, he's everything that I think he is, right? He's everything that I'm comfortable with. I'm comfortable with violence and with my mask. And Jesus, in a moment of insane authority and power, he just says, no, Peter, you have to take that mask off if you want to follow me. And it is only in recognizing that Jesus needs to be the one who takes on our burdens and our failures, in our sin. He needs to take on God's anger. When we are able to recognize, it's only then when we see Jesus, we are able to recognize that God's love for us is not something that is to be earned. It's not something that we are supposed to strive for. It's not something that we're supposed to seek every opportunity to prove ourselves, but it is simply something to be received as a gift. The gift of God coming as a human to be executed on a Roman cross, to stand in our place, right? To stand, to take on the full weight of our evil, in our failure to be enough. Jesus says, "I'm going to be enough." So branches, I just hope that whatever you are hearing today, that if you're feeling like Peter, if you feel like somebody who's just utterly failed and can't even make sense uh, of the kind of person you are, uh, I hope that you see Jesus, the man who is just waiting for you to recognize that he wants to embrace you with sacrificial love, and not with anger, and not with disappointment, but simply with an embrace to let you know that it's okay, uh, that you are incapable of being enough. It's because I am the one who is enough, and I am the one who is supposed to take on your burdens, not you. So, guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope to see you soon. And yeah, may God bless you this week. Love you guys.